YouTube? This is Techie just coming at you with another review for you guys. My screen is a little bit dirty. I apologize. Let me wipe that down for you guys a little bit. And this review is going to be on the Mophie Juicepack Air that I got for Christmas. I actually got it on Christmas Eve, so I've had it for a little while. I'm going to give you pretty much my first impressions, my first review on this guy here, and so far I have been very satisfied. Now you guys know that I do buy a ton of replica items. This is an original item that was purchased from Best Buy, I do believe, but I wanted one so bad that before I went and I purchased one from DHgate, and you can see it says Mophie.com in here. It is a replica, but this replica I would not recommend buying. Why? Because it does not hold a charge. I cannot use this thing. It is completely dead. For whatever reason, it came in, it charged my phone when I put it in for the first time, and then after that, the stupid thing wouldn't charge up. So this is an example of stuff that you can get from China that you're not so lucky, and you don't get things that work. So you don't always have a good experience with that. I'm not the type of person that says buy everything replica. I just want to let you guys know that that sometimes it is better off to buy the real thing, and in this case that is the truth. This guy here is awesome. It's a lot thinner actually than this one. Well, not a lot thinner, but thin enough, a difference that it'll be noticed in your hand and whatnot. So I quite like that. This one also has a glossy finish, and as you can see, it's a white finish. So let me just put it on the phone. So as you can see, I can barely get this off as it is, but when it's on the phone, it is incredibly difficult to get off, and that is good for one reason and bad for another. One, you know that it's not going to fall off while your phone is in there, which is great to note. So as you can see, it's just really quick. You just slide your phone in, plug it into the bottom, and you're good to go with that part. And then you slide the top part over here, and you get a click, and you're good to go. So it goes on quite nicely, but getting it off is like World War II. See, if I try to pull it, you have to pull it off like a certain way. I'm having a hard time here. I almost don't, there you go. Almost don't even want to do it. But there you go, it does slide off. So it can come off, I guess. I'm trying to prove that there, but it is difficult. So don't force it too hard, or else your hand will go flying off. And I have hit my phone a couple times taking it off. So be careful when you do that if you do buy this case. Going over to the back, I already talked about the white glossy finish on the back, which I really like. And you got a nice cutout here for your camera, with a nice black bezel going around it for flash issues that you would have if you had the white iPhone. So you shouldn't have too much of an issue with that, with this cutout. Going over to the side, you have a cutout for your volume rockers, as well as your vibrate switch here. This is probably one of the only complaints I have with this case, is that the hole here, or the space, isn't that big. It's okay for me because I have really teeny fingers, but for a guy or for somebody that has bigger fingers, it'll be an issue getting into that little crease here to turn your volume up and down and to get your volume switch. So that is something to definitely keep in mind if you're looking to buy a battery case. Down here you have the switch to turn your battery on and off. So when it's red, that means that the battery is off. You turn it so it goes green. If I can get my camera to focus. Oh man. It goes green here. See, it's green. It charges. So it went ching. Now it's charging. You guys know that sound for when you plug it into the wall. Going up on top of the case here, you've got a nice little Mophie kind of indent thinger going on there. Two little holes here for your speaker, and as well as like where you talk into, and I haven't had no issues with calls and or hearing the volume when it's playing, so don't you worry about that. Down at the bottom here you have the battery indicator that tells you how much battery you do have going. I'm going to turn that off here because I'm okay for battery right now. So that's awesome too. You can keep it on standby and keep it so you keep all your charge in here, and then when you actually really need it, you can turn it on and have that battery. Going over here, you have the port to actually charge this case, which something that is really nice to note about this case is you can charge your iPhone while this is charging. So it actually charges when it's plugged in via your USB 2.0. You can plug it into your computer or whatever you would like to, a wall charger and whatnot. I use my computer, I just find it more convenient, but what happens is it actually charges your phone first. It will charge that battery first before it charges the Mophie battery. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then after that, it'll charge the actual case. And what will happen is when it's charging, it'll be blinking and the lights will fill up as the battery fills up. And then when the lights are just solid, that means that the battery is completely full. So that is something to note there. Pretty easy. Good instructions in the manual and whatnot if you get confused and you get one. As you can see, going around the whole entire phone is a nice silver bezel, reminiscent of the actual iPhone's bezel, which I thought was pretty nice. And going over to the top, you also have issues here with the sleep awake button there with your phone, turning it on and off. It's got a tiny space there, but it's nothing too big of a deal for me anyway, just simply because I do have small hands, and if my camera could focus, that would be fantastic. Over here is the headphone jack, and it's not too recessed, not too bad there. Kind of like it actually, that it has a little bit more space. Nice to see with a case like this, but that's the only part of this whole entire thing that gives you space. We got a little bit of a lay of the table design, so I'm not afraid to put that on its screen there and jag that around a little bit. Seems to be pretty protected, but nothing too major that it interferes when I'm typing over here with my fingers and whatnot. So that's nice to see there. And overall, this case fits pretty nicely. It does a great job. I don't find it too bulky in the hand. I kind of like it actually because you get a nice curved design on the back that is kind of like the 3GS, but with the 4. And I don't know if I'm just the only moron on the planet that has an issue with dropping their iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S because of the box type shape, but I do all the time, and this helps me actually keep it in my hand and not drop it because it is more curved. It adds a little bit of weight, so if you are a type of person that likes to have, you know, a nice light case on your phone, that is something to note. Probably not for you, but for me, I don't really mind the weight. I actually like it because I feel like the phone is a little bit too light for me personally. I don't want to lose it at any point in time, and I know that it's in my pocket. That being said, it's not the heaviest thing in the world, so don't you worry if that's what you're worrying about with this case in general. I find it overall to be pretty good. The performance of it, I get probably a charge and a half, I'd say sometimes a little bit more, so maybe a charge and 3/4 of the way from this actual battery in here. So if you're like me and you are constantly on Twitter, constantly checking your email, texting, whatever, you now have a battery that you can just use and turn on here and you're good to go, and you don't need to plug it into a certain device or whatever when you're on the go. I find it incredibly useful. I would recommend it to anybody. My only negatives would be that the spaces here for people with big fingers would have an issue, but other than that, for me, I give it 2 thumbs up. Definitely a good buy at $79.99 for this case, and if you can find it cheaper, definitely pick one up. Make sure you buy it from an actual reseller such as Amazon, or just find it at a local retail store, and you should be good to go with that. But yeah, definitely recommend this guy if you have issues with batteries. Definitely an awesome solution. So that is the Mophie Juicepack Air. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, Toodles!